that kind
No, I'm recording this. I'm recording. No, keep going. Do not stop. That was hilarious.
of, no, it's done.
No, no. What were we talking about? Steve Rogers, incest, and Captain America. What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
We need to see your face too, Trey, if you want to talk about that.
I'm, my eyes are kind of messed up right now.
It's okay. You need
They
a map?
messed up. That's
It's okay.
messed up. I can't. Something
You can do
something's
it.
wrong. Something's wrong with my camera.
You're trying to make us talk about incest, but you don't want to be on the camera.
Uh,
You want the camera.
Right.
hey,
Yeah, we call him Elise.
Kara's the one talking about everybody's related to
I was talking
Captain
about, okay,
America.
listen. I was talking about Steve Rogers. We brought him up. He's like a
Mhm.
hundred and something years old. I think, I mean, he's
He
very
is.
attractive. He's a very attractive man, okay? But
He's a
he
handsome
is.
man.
But I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could, like, if I found out that he's that old, I'd be like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't handle it.
Yeah, yeah, he's old. You know what I'm saying? Like it's nasty. It's definitely nasty.
Cause like,
Yeah,
what if he had dated my great grandma?
yeah, that's nasty. That's nasty. That's nasty.
You can't handle it.
That's so true. I agree. Hey, I'm not arguing with you on a bit. All I'm saying is, care like a little mocha and a little cocoa in the coffee. That's all I'm saying.
That's good, Kara.
Sam Rogers, or no, Sam Wilson. Sorry, I merged the two. Sam Wilson is an attractive man as well.
Okay.
He is.
I like, yeah, he's a handsome brother. He's a handsome brother. Now my thing is, and I know this isn't the movie call, but it was for me. It was the remember the old black guy, the old soldier.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, nah, that was crazy when he like started doing what he was doing. That was just insane.
That was crazy, but it wasn't like his fault.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
was
It was. Yeah,
well, I don't want to spoil things because
yeah. Don't spoil it for E.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
okay. You can say it in front of me. It's fine. I won't
No.
remember when I watch it anyway, so we're good.
No, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But no, that was cool. I didn't actually remember. See, the thing about the Marvel movies is I do like Marvel. I do like Marvel movies. I do like them.
Mm,
But like there's so many, they all mesh together in my
that's true.
mind
Yeah,
sometimes that I forget characters exist. So I'm
yeah.
like, did I even meet this guy before? Probably.
Right.
I was like,
Yeah,
I probably did, but I don't remember him, and I feel bad for not remembering him. But then I'm like, there's so many of them. So many
yeah.
of them.
Yeah, they do mesh together. And
And I don't even now remember who's alive and who's not alive anymore.
yeah, true, true. Yeah, it's crazy. To be honest, they actually hinted on a really good point, soldiers and mental health. That kind of became like the norm, like the experimental, you know,
Hmm.
aspect of soldiers and kind of that whole concept. Um,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's there's deeper meanings in these type of movies, when it comes to
Def-
soldiers and
Oh,
hmm
definitely.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
One of the things that I found motivational, since we are on the motivational group call,
Come on.
was that like, like we were talking before, like he didn't take the serum. Um,
Yeah.
and so like, I mean, I thought like people kept kind of sort of comparing him to, and even he compared himself to Steve
Steve
Rogers,
Rogers.
the
Yep.
original Captain America.
Hmm.
But like he was never meant to be Steve Rogers. He was
Yep.
always meant to be Sam Wilson,
Yep.
but like take on the role of Captain America. Captain America was like a title, like a to me, it's like a title, like a position, a suit that you wear,
Yeah.
like an honor to like have. And it was like passed on to him, but Steve never told him, I want you to be me.
Yeah.
Like he said, I want you to be Captain America, but like you got to take that role on as yourself. So
Yeah.
I think to me, like that was the main point of that is like that he still is himself. Like I loved that he also like because Steve Rogers never had wings. Like,
Yeah. Mm.
so I loved that he kept his like his wings as the Falcon, like in
Yeah.
his suit, and just like kept that
Hmm.
as part of him.
Yeah.
He
Hmm.
continued to use Red Wing, which had been a thing that he had done as the Falcon and
Yeah.
everything like that. And so I
Yep.
think like, him just embracing himself
Hmm. Hmm.
him was what made him like be the best.
Hands down. Yep.
Um, and I don't know, just kind of got me thinking about um, as the youngest
Yeah.
um in my family, how I went to like a small town. I grew up in a small town, so like I had the same teachers basically as my older sisters
Mhm.
when I was younger. And
Yeah.
so sometimes like the teachers would like be like, "Oh, it's another Nelk. Is she
Our
gonna be
sister.
like
Yeah.
Becca, the oldest, or is she gonna be like
Hmm.
Amy? Like who's she gonna be like?" I was like, "I'm not gonna
Yeah.
be any of them. I'm myself.
Yeah.
Why do you keep trying to make me be somebody I'm not?"
Not. Yeah. That's good. That's really good. You actually just set the topic for today. So thank you. Yeah,
You're
you really just did. But before we talk about the topic that you just set, I do want to give E time to like come forth with something she wanted to share. I know you wanted to call yourself out,
I
and I know you,
do. I
yeah,
do.
you did it with me. So
I did. So
yeah.
last week when we were talking about, I think Trey asked a question about whether we're afraid to be alone, like when we were going through our divorces.
Mhm.
And um, like I did answer honestly, like that wasn't a fear for me. So
Mhm.
where I went into me being independent and taking care of everything, which is true. But I also just want to recognize that that comes from something that I need to work on, which is my hyper independence. And so
Mhm.
I don't want to be presenting something that's not necessarily positive in a positive way. I
Yeah.
still am very independent and proud of that. But I still, like I said, I just want to acknowledge that it's not necessarily amazing all the time the way that I handle it. So,
Hmm.
sorry.
Yeah. That was so good. That was, and I just felt that to be so good, Kay. That she said she reflected on that all week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know
No,
what
I
I'm
think
saying?
that's good. I think it's
Mhm.
good to reflect on those things. Like I
Yeah.
think I mean, you know what I typically say or almost always say is that I'm
Yeah.
working on balance. Like I think that there's a balance
Yeah.
between
Hmm.
like, like that hyper independence balance between being independent and
Yep.
being semi-dependent on someone else. Because like I was very
Yep.
dependent in my relationship, and that is super unhealthy. Um, and so, which was why me having that fear of being alone was very real. Um, because I was so codependent on them and other
Yeah.
people. Um,
Hmm.
and so like I think there has to be a balance of like independence and not codependence necessarily, but like more like interdependence, I would say. Like
Yep.
we're like working together.
agree.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's good to recognize that, you know what I'm saying? Because you can lean too far left or too far right. You can be too there's one female from my church that, recently ended her relationship because she felt like she was very codependent on her significant others. And she said that she realized that and she felt like God was leading her to just be single and dwell in that for a while so that she can realize her independence.
Hmm.
But then you can have too far independent to where
Mhm.
a woman or a man never gets into a relationship because they're just like, oh, I don't need the other person, or I don't, and they almost become like anti the other person, other significant other. And it's
Yeah.
like, dang, like, you kind of got to ease up, because right now you don't have someone because you have a mentality that's similar to not wanting someone, And so the middle is always best. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's another good topic. Middle balance. Ah, all right, that's a good one. Um, that's a good one, but I'm gonna stick to the other one. I'm gonna stick to the other one that Kay just said. But I definitely want to dive into it. I know we only have until about 8, but I do want to talk about it. And that is identification. Um, and what I mean by that is like authenticity, the real you. You know, the you that the you that is not how can I put it? The you that is not altered, the you that is not modified. You know, like this day and age, modification is everything. And to be honest with you, it's hard to tell as a man what's real and what's fake, Um, just the aspect of, you know, certain different aspects of the male and female body. As a male, you can look at a female and you look at her figure, her booty, her breast, things of that nature as a man, and you may see these different things online that a lot of women are like flaunting, but you can't tell if it's real or not. But they've had work done, or they've had a tummy tuck, they had all these different things, and not to say that all these things are necessarily bad, but I do think that it can be, and it is when you do those things for the wrong reasons, or they're not necessary, as in like you're destroying the natural state of yourself, and I think that a lot of people are running from their true authentic selves to meet a specific standard, and that's something that we know, like that's the time we live in. But let's talk about that for a little bit. Like, how much are you both pressured by those standards? Even as a male, like you have certain males that are taking steroids, and they have steroids and they have abs and they have all these different things, and but they're taking fat burners and they're taking steroids that are making them look a certain way, but it's not real, it's not authentic. So as a female, or you two as a female, what pressures? Well, I guess I'll start off with this way. Have either of you ever been tempted or even close to? I know a close friend who told me she was looking at doctors. She had even gotten to the point to where she went in the doctor office and he told her, he was walking her through, hey, we're gonna remove the fat here and we're gonna put it into your butt and your breast, but it's gonna take a lot of healing. You're gonna have to do a lot of different things to keep this up and not cause it to leak and just a bunch of different stuff. And it was even like life threatening. So have you both ever been tempted to undergo procedures that would, alter your natural body?
Mm, no.
I'm curious. I'm curious. I know it's personal, but come on, let's do it.
Oh,
I've
no,
never even thought about it,
nothing
honestly.
like that. The
Wow.
only thing I ever thought about potentially, um, like fixing on myself was my
Yeah.
mole on my nose.
You told me about that. You told me your ex-husband used to point that out, right?
Yeah,
Wow. Wow. So you've been pressured to fix it because of what yourself, or was it more
it was
external?
it was
Hey,
more
how
like
you doing?
it was more
Hmm.
him. Like, I mean, when I was younger, I did feel like self-conscious about it a little bit, but I grew to like it, you know, myself, because it's like a unique feature. I've always had it. It's not something that's like, I don't know, I've always had it. But like, I guess when he pointed it out, then it got like more like I got more insecure about it.
Yeah.
Uh, but it was like, I don't know. Because he was like, he wanted me to have a symmetrical face.
Mm. Yeah.
But no, I like it now. I
I
mean, I
love
always
it.
have kind of liked it, but it's just
Yeah.
like, so that would be the only thing I ever kind of considered getting removed. But then I was thinking, I was like, well, even if I got like, even when he brought it up, I was like,
Yeah.
even if I got it removed, wouldn't I still have like a scar or something? So then,
Mm.
so then I'm like, that doesn't even really fix the problem because there's still
Yeah.
something there.
Yeah. Yeah. So you were gonna get it totally removed, or removed solely because of him, like because of it was your significant other, your husband pointing
Hmm.
it out. Wow.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can definitely see the pressure in that. Yeah. Wow. Okay. And Eve, you said that you never even thought about it.
Honestly.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, no, I haven't. I never have. Honestly, I've
Wow.
never even considered it.
Wow. That's amazing. Like,
Um,
because I hear so often of women that do,
mm,
you
yeah.
know? what do you think has kept you from considering it? Like you've always had this strong idea of self.
Um, Not always. I do now, but
Mm.
I don't know. It just wasn't. I mean, I've never considered it. I'm terrified to have surgery. I can say that for sure, but not like
Yeah,
I never considered it and decided not to because I'm terrified to have surgery. It just I don't know. I didn't, and like my body has gotten me to where I am today. Like I'm living in this body, and I don't know. It's just
yeah.
I don't know. Sorry.
No, 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 no. You're good. You're good. I get it. Like if it's just that simple, like, hey, you're in this body, this is what you have. You're content. You've learned to accept that and not change, what the creator has given you. I think that's amazing.
My body's changed a lot, obviously, through my life. I had
Yeah.
a child and whatever, but I also had, I raised two daughters and I wanted them to be really confident in their
Mm,
bodies, and they are. So I mean, that's good. I have lots of needs.
yeah.
I don't know. I just never really, it's just never been a thing that I've thought about.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Considering again so many people that do think about it, it's just that's incredible. When people do go through those different procedures and things of that nature, do you both feel like it's mostly always outside validation that they're looking for? Like, is there ever a justification in doing things like that, modifying your buttocks or modifying, like, is that something that you all would condone as like, hey, that's okay? If a woman wants to do that, or is that always, do you think that that's always just because of maybe something that's missing internally as well as outside validation that one person is seeking?
I mean, I guess I don't necessarily see anything wrong with a woman or a man or anybody who wants to alter their appearance. Like
Mm,
they want to do that like for themselves and
yeah.
make them feel better about themselves, then by all means, I think that they should. Especially
Mm,
if they feel like good. I think that you do have to come to like what is your reason for it though, as
mm,
well. Because if it's like like if it is for someone else, you want to make sure that it really is for yourself.
mm,
And you also have to recognize, because even like with like fitness, even when you're like trying to get healthy for yourself or
yeah.
like lose weight or like do something, like any kind of like thing that alters your appearance, whether it's with surgery or without surgery,
Mm,
like if you don't come to the conclusion that you like who you are or you love who you are at the beginning,
yeah.
that isn't going to change based on what you look like on the outside. Because
Mm,
like if you don't love yourself now, you might you might for a little while be like, I look like I want to look, but you're still going to have those same insecurities unless you work through those things.
yeah. 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 Wow.
And then sometimes people do it for health reasons, and I think that those are very valid reasons.
Hmm.
So,
Absolutely. Like weight loss surgery and things of that nature.
mhm.
Yeah. 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 What about you, E? Do you think that there's ever justification in maybe getting a BBL or getting a facelift or tummy tucks, things of that nature? Do you think that there's ever justification in that?
I agree with what Kara said. If it's gonna, I mean, I support people making whatever decisions they want for their own bodies,
Hmm.
but if it is, if they're not okay with themselves,
Yeah.
then it's never going to be enough. Like that might be okay for a little bit, but it's never going to stop. You're always going to find something else. So,
Yeah.
I know I don't have any opinions on, you know, whether
Hmm.
something's right or wrong for another person.
What helps you both stand on your identity? Like as not just as a woman, but just as someone who is valuable, worthy. you know, all those different things. Like, what helps you both not settle? What helps you both not give into uh, just whatever, and you know, in a sense, to say, hey, forget it, or live a life that is just not that seems as if you don't value yourself. What gives you all your identity?
I've definitely settled in many in many
Yeah.
cases, but you know,
Hmm.
tried to learn and continuing to grow and um yeah, like doing a lot of work on myself, like on my insides. So I don't know. I,
Mm.
that's good. And continuing, like I think it's gonna be a lifelong process.
Yeah. You were saying something that you're still working with. Wow.
Yeah.
I appreciate that transparency. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for being vulnerable. Saying that. Okay. Keeps
Um,
you.
with me, I think like I've had people question my identity before, question like, things about myself.
Mm.
It's caused me to like, like even with, my ex not liking certain parts of my personality
Yep.
has me, I don't know, maybe it's stubbornness. I don't know. I mean, I tried to
Mm.
change, but like I really did. There was times where I tried to be what he wanted me to be,
Yeah.
but it didn't stick because I was like, it's not me.
Yeah.
And so then I would revert back to being
Hmm.
something that he didn't really like. Uh, so it
Yep.
was, well, I do like this, and other people like it, and somebody else will like it, and so like, just like I think like having someone who is very anti me
Mm.
made me maybe dig into myself more.
Yeah.
Um, really like look into
Wow.
um like is this who I want to be? And then also like for myself as well, I find my identity in Christ and in
Hmm.
God, like just looking into like how he says that I'm worthy and how he says like all of
Yeah.
these about me and how he's created me and all of these things. And so I look at that and like who am I to argue
Yeah.
with God, if he says that I'm worthy and he created me in this way, why am I gonna tell him that he's wrong?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And that's kind of how I think. And I do agree with Elise in the sense that it is still like it's an ongoing thing. Like it's an ongoing thing to like find your identity. Like and you can grow and change like and evolve throughout your life.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I think just recognizing that and continuing on it
Yeah.
is like and just like being reminded that you are valuable. Like everybody is valuable. Everybody has value.
Yeah.
And so like there is not one person that is more valuable than another.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
like recognizing that in and of itself and taking that as fact uh can help you, I think.
It's good. That's really good. Wow. What would you both say? And I guess like E, for you, you may have already done this, but Kara, I guess for you, this may be a question that maybe requires a little more digging, just because we're not, you or me are not parents. But what would you both say to, let's say, your sons or daughters if they ever came to you with a identity crisis, you know, a crisis of self-worth. Um, Perhaps it was even to the point of self-harm, you know, like they're harming themselves because they just feel worthless, or giving themselves over to things because they just feel, what would you both say to them? And I guess this question also could help others that maybe, you know, don't have parents that are saying things that they need to hear. Um, yeah, I'm curious.
Good question. Um, I don't know. For me, I just try to ask questions, really try to understand more,
Mm,
like where they're coming from. I don't I don't really necessarily think that I have anything to say that can like resolve that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'll ask questions, try to understand. Obviously, I try already to like be very affirming to everybody that it's in my life, like sincerely though, and I
Yeah.
think they know that. But if we're talking about self-harm and things like that, I think we
Hmm.
probably need to get a professional involved. That's not something that I'm, going to be an expert on. So,
Mm, I
Mhm.
feel that. I feel that. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, I think that that's a really great approach. Honestly, it's just, I would think, yeah, asking questions, digging deeper, figuring out
Mm,
what is the identity crisis. First of all, like, what are you struggling
yeah.
with identity? Like, what is it? Where is it coming from? Is it from
Yeah.
another person?
Hmm.
Like with myself, like, I guess I could say I had a crisis of identity, like with my ex not liking certain aspects of my personality and
Yeah.
things. Is like, I suppose I could have said I had a crisis of identity, but um coming back to like, you know, knowing what it is. So I think just asking them, yeah, like she said, asking them questions, figuring it out,
Yep.
um, and just pointing them in the direction of like, I think just showing care and love. Like most,
Yeah.
that's what people need is love. And so just showing that you care for them.
Yeah.
And yeah, and if you need to bring in a professional, I think that that's definitely important, especially, yeah, with like self-harm being involved. Like that would be something where you would want like a counselor, a therapist type person, someone who is licensed in those areas that could help out, just showing that, saying you care about them, but
Yeah.
also there could be things. I think just being open to a conversation too,
Yeah.
that communication and openness from the beginning, from when they're young,
Yeah.
that you care all throughout their life so that they can and will come to you when they're
Yeah.
happens. Because it's gonna happen. I mean, like you have identity crises like all the time, like small ones. They don't have to be huge. Like
Yeah.
middle school, like, your friends are like doing this, like, or
Yeah.
like, do I want to be like that or do I want to be like this? Like, you know, should I
Yep.
be, maybe I want to be popular and being popular means I have to be in sports, but I don't like sports. So,
Yeah.
like, like just those are small little identity things, like, but they're big to you in that moment or they're big to them in that moment
Yeah.
because that's their world, that's their life, that's
Yeah.
going through.
Yeah.
So, like, I think also just not like downplaying their identity crisis.
Oh wow, that's good.
Like, if
Yeah.
we think it's small, because it's not like something that we have to deal with now as adults,
Yeah.
like because we have much bigger problems than they do now. But that's
Yeah.
the world.
That
Like,
doesn't make it
well,
insignificant. Yeah.
yeah, that's their world. That's big to them, you know?
Yeah.
So I think just remembering that as well.
Man, parents can really do that. E, have you ever done that? I'm big on you. You're the parent here. I'm sorry.
yeah, yes. Also, I mentioned I have a lot of nieces and nephews, so I am
Mm.
lucky to be a trusted adult for
Yeah.
people in my life.
Hmm.
So we've had a lot of those types of conversations, honestly.
Wow.
I have found not intentionally, but like getting somebody in the car with you,
Yeah.
they just open up. Like you don't even, I don't know, just one on one
Yep.
or drive, things just come out
Things come out. Yeah.
and it's like quiet or you can have music on if they want or whatever,
Yep.
just the two of you. And I
Hmm.
don't know. They just kind of it's happened pretty much for all of them. That's
Yeah.
typically where things come out. So
Wow. That's awesome. So given you would say you would recommend because you do have a lot of nieces and nephews and you always tell me about you always talk about them and um and you would say that giving them that one-on-one time has been beneficial. giving them
Yeah.
that space to, gaining their trust, and then also giving them and spending quality time, quality
Mhm.
one-on-one. Wow,
I try
that's
to
big.
prioritize that as much as I can.
Yeah,
And like they know that I'm not judgmental. I'm gonna hear them out.
yeah,
I'm, I have their best interests in mind, and
yep,
they know that. And when they come to me, it's confidential.
yep,
Um, I will say though that, they're all aware that there may be things that come up where we might have to get their parents involved because
yeah,
they're on. But the agreement is that I will never go behind their back. Like if that happens, I'm going to tell
yeah.
them, in the moment, hey, we have to get your parents involved, and I'm going to help them in whatever way they choose for me to do that.
Wow.
I don't know. So,
Yeah, that's dope. That is really dope. Yeah, like and E, I'm not sure if you probably just answered this, but what would you say is like the thing that makes them comfortable coming to you? What is it that you're doing or you do that gives them that comfortability in coming to you? Because they always come to you. So, wh- what tip would you give parents or even aunties or uncles, to help their nieces and nephews open up to them?
I don't know. I should ask them, honestly. And
Yeah,
I just it's like I said, I they know I'm on their side no matter what. I
yeah.
tell them that any chance I get, and
Wow.
they just trust me. It's like that's one of the greatest blessings of my life, honestly. Like how much they
Yeah,
trust me with things.
yeah. That's awesome. That's amazing. Yeah, like, when you ask them, please get back to me on that
I'm
too.
going to. I'll
Yeah.
ask them.
I mean, you're amazing, so I understand, but I could see why. But I would love to hear from them, like specifically, like what specifically are they just like, man, it's I'm curious. I'm really curious.
Me too. Now that you're asking, like I've never really. I just the things I said, like they know that
Yep.
it's I have their best interest in mind. I'm going to be honest with them all the time. They know
Mm.
that. I don't judge them.
Wow. You don't so you're honest with them and you're open and you'll tell them things that they don't even want to hear.
Yes.
Wow.
But they know that it's coming from a good place, So
Yeah.
yeah,
You're
I
not trying to be you're not trying to be their friend. Like you're
right.
still
I'm still
wow.
there. I'm still there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's dope. That's dope. Because a lot of times parents will compromise or adults will compromise like that. It's like, oh yeah, I'll be their friend and I'll win their trust over by doing these things with them, even though we shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And they forfeit being a parent. And then it's like, okay, like you never get that relationship as a parent, son, it becomes a friend friend. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah. But you don't sacrifice that.
No, no, and they know it too. I mean, I am who I am with everyone. So if something's going on, if I have something to talk to them about, I'm gonna tell them. And even if
Wow.
it hurts, I mean, I tell them with love, right? Like I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
approach it that way, but it's not always fun. And sometimes they get mad,
Yeah.
but we figure it out.
Wow. Oh, sometimes they get mad?
Yeah, I mean, they don't always agree with
Yeah.
what I'm saying, and that's
Hmm.
okay. We
Hmm.
can have conversations, but it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. That is super dope. That's super dope. What would Oh, I'm sorry. I'm curious to ask this. What were you both like in, let's say, high school? We like paint the picture, if you don't mind. Were y'all the nerdy ones that were just lame? Like, and I say this in a very jokingly way, but just like,
Lame.
what do you say?
I said, what do you mean lame? That's
No,
so funny.
you know how it is. Like, no, I'm not calling you late, but I'm saying like, was it, you know what I'm saying? Like the Twilight type. Since we were watching Twilight, I think I kind of thought about that. But yeah, yeah, that concept. Like, who were you? How were you? Who did you hang with? Were you with the jocks? Or were you just a quiet, shy introvert? Were you bullied? I'm curious to know that. I know a lot of people that were bullied. Were you bullied? Just all those different questions. Yeah. Who were y'all? No, I'm playing. Well, who were y'all? I am curious.
Mm.
Ugh. I was quiet. I was very shy.
Mm.
But I will say that the people that I didn't have like one group. I had friends kind of
Wow.
all over. And the majority of people that were close friends for me in high school are still in my life now.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
um, yeah, they're like family. And, I mean, they are family to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I was quiet, shy, unless you knew me. But that's kind of like now I'm quiet until you that I'm not, I
Mm.
guess.
Yeah. 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 You're definitely, yeah. Yeah. You're definitely an extrovert now, but you're like Kara, like y'all like the same people. Y'all claim to be introverted.
Please stop trying to make us extroverts.
Yo, like
Like when you get comfortable with a person, it's a
yeah.
different situation. But if you saw me in a room with people I don't know, I observe people more than anything.
100%
I notice
Mm.
everything.
every
Yeah. Yeah.
My
watching
instincts,
all of it.
yes, are strong. So I'm
And I know exactly where all the exits are.
that's smart too.
I cannot. I cannot.
All of them.
Yeah, not an extrovert, but like when I'm with my people, then you would think I'm an extrovert, but I'm not.
Yes. Same. Same. So I get you, Elise. I get you. We are introverts. And I loved that I had the theater all to myself yesterday. That was so great. I
Amazing.
was like, how did this happen? I got yeah, that's off topic. Who was I in high school? Was the question, right? Who was I in high school? In high
Yeah.
school,
I'm sorry. I was picking up an order. I'm sorry.
no, it's good. I saw you muted yourself. Thank you, Trey.
Hey, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Look, just let me mute. Do not call me out. Yeah.
No, I said thank
No,
you.
no, no, no.
I, I was giving you kudos. I was being
No.
proud of
I
you.
want to keep the kudos. No, blah, blah, blah. You're good.
I take it back.
You yelled at me last time, so I was like, all right, make sure. She was like, Elise is talking. Mute this after. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because she was saying good things.
Hey, I'm muted.
That's why I said thank you.
Yeah, never again. No, no, you're
Do you
good.
want to know what I was like in high school or not?
Yes, I do. I do.
Um, I was uh I was in the band and choir,
Wow.
also theater and speech. I was like in that group, I guess, but I also
Mm.
like got along with everybody, you know? Like I
Yeah,
could like float from group to group, but I did have my people, my main people.
yeah,
Um, yeah. Uh, and I'm still very good friends with many of them now. Like, yeah, they would be like my family, like my best friend.
yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Um, yeah. So that was me, I guess. Uh,
Yeah,
I guess the band choir nerd. I was
yeah.
not in sports. Um, but I would go and watch the games and stuff,
Okay.
danced at homecoming. Like I was like myself. Like I'm me now, but
Yeah,
like younger.
yeah. That's dope. That's dope. Like that. So neither of you would say that you really changed in any drastic way. Like, some people are not themselves when they're in high school, so they're kind of like because they want to fit in. I mean, you got people that hang with popular people, but that was not them. You got people who were perhaps shy, a little bit more on the shy, introverted side, but that was not them. And it's like, so y'all wouldn't say that was any drastic change there.
I wouldn't say like my personality changed that much. Like, I mean,
Mm,
other than being more secure in who I am, like I was definitely like
mm,
self-conscious and
mm.
insecure. Like, I mean, I wasn't and I was. like at times. And like there was parts of like, I never had a boyfriend in high school, and that was something I wished I had. Like, and
Mm,
like some of me, like, part of me at that point was like, what's wrong with me, I guess? Like, why don't boys want
mm,
me? Kind of thing.
mm. Yeah.
But like, and I was like, maybe I'm too, I don't know, maybe I'm too much
Mm,
in some sense. But then I was like, but I also like that about me. So I don't know. So it's just kind of like, yeah.
yeah.
And now I'm just like, if I am too much for you, it's fine.
So
Yeah.
find less somewhere else then.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. Absolutely. Wow. I respect that. That is, I love the transparency. I love that y'all are very comfortable. I can tell y'all are comfortable in yourself because y'all are not afraid to talk about yourself. I'm throwing some hard questions. These are deep questions, and y'all are not shying away. It's actually like it's testing. Y'all are testing my ability to ask more questions and harder questions. And we going and trust me, the more you test me, the deeper I go. So I just want y'all to know that, like. Y'all get so all right. The more transparent y'all get, look, I told you the social security number. I want to know it at some
Well,
point.
we have boundaries, Trey. We have
Got
boundaries.
boundaries. Oh, okay,
We've established that that's one of them.
okay, okay. I'll get it. Okay. I'll take my time. I'll be patient. I already got. I got. I think I got. I think I got. Kara's. I think hers begins with a four. I think Elise begins with a four as whatnot.
That's good. You're on a roll.
I will confirm or deny if you're correct.
I know it. I know you got it. That means I'm correct. But I think everybody's begins with a four, right?
Is that true? I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah.
If y'all's begins with a four, then yeah, it may be true because mine does too. I'm just saying. I think so. I think it just like mix all the other numbers. But what do you say?
I said maybe. I don't know. I haven't researched social security numbers.
I know, I know, I know. I know. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. Not playing.
What are you gonna do with it
Trying
once
to
you figure it
steal
out?
my identity?
Hey, that's
Right.
why we're talking about
I
identity,
mean,
right?
unless you want to like, unless you want to give me money, like
Hey, y'all say y'all confident in your identity. If I steal it, y'all should be okay right now. Y'all should still have
you
worry.
should be confident in your own identity, Trey.
Hey,
Stop trying to steal mine. I
hey,
know I'm cool and all.
I'm asking the questions around here now, but I'm testing y'all to see how comfortable y'all are before I steal it now, but I'm teased. I'm literally teasing. But, and I gotta say that because shoot, if you even come after me, it's like, come on now. But
You're
no,
the
no,
one who
no.
makes the snippets. If you make the wrong snippet, that's on you.
Sure.
Oh, true, true. I'm gonna edit this out. No, but I love it. I love the transparency. What would you say? What was like one of the most embarrassing moments in your life that perhaps that took you some time to get over, but you finally were able to, or maybe you're still struggling with it. What was an embarrassing moment in your life um, that took you a long time to get over, and why? And that goes back to identity, and I'll kind of just go into how, but essentially, like I'm asking that because I think it's those moments that strengthen us in our identity. Kind of going back to what we kind of already said, like you can have moments of embarrassment, even a divorce, right? Like y'all could probably take it back to that.
That's
Like,
where I was gonna go with mine.
come on, yeah,
You got
Not
talk.
one. Yeah,
not
if you got one, please talk, because I'm still thinking.
not
Yeah, come on.
not the divorce itself. Like kind of the things I tolerated, the
Mm,
excuses I made, like
mm,
behavior I allowed.
wow.
The embarrassment, I guess, in addition to those things, is like how long it went on. Um, yeah, I don't know. That like really that's probably
Yeah,
the most embarrassing thing it
Wow.
makes.
I get that.
Mm.
I get that.
So you were embarrassed about the toleration, your tolerance for it.
Yeah. And I don't mean to keep going back to this, but I was raising my daughters in this family. I felt like they were being provided with a, a circumstance or a situation that isn't actually what necessarily what they were experiencing, but I
Wow.
didn't recognize that. If that makes sense, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes
Um,
sense. Hmm.
I do now, and we've talked we've talked about it
Yep.
at great length.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I like accomplished the opposite of what I thought I was
Yeah.
doing. And
Mhm.
but I mean, I guess on the bright side, they recognize that that's the opposite of what they wanted. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. That was an
Wow.
embarrassing thing for me.
Have you gotten over that embarrassment?
Um, that's a good question. Mm, I think so.
Mm.
Like I understand. I guess I've gained a lot of understanding about
Yeah.
why,
Yeah.
like why he did things that he did, why I accepted it, why I allowed it, why I interpreted it or excused it.
Yeah.
So that's helped. So I guess it's not really. I'm not embarrassed about it anymore. It just has like
Mm.
allowed me to see things that I need to learn and work on within myself to make sure I'm never in that situation again.
Wow. Gotcha.
Mm.
I appreciate that. In the UK?
Um, I'm still kind of like trying to think, but I can definitely relate to what Elise is saying.
Mm.
It's about like maybe being more embarrassed about because I can't think of like a specific moment, I guess, that like
Yeah.
came in my life that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed that this happened, you
Yep.
know? Because like even like, falling or doing, something or whatever, something happening is like, sure, it might be embarrassing in the moment, but it's not like something that defines you or whatever. Like
Yeah.
that happens. But I guess like I would say not necessarily like I think for me like my embarrassment that I'm like living right now, sort of,
Yeah.
um, is like after the divorce, some of the decisions that I made, um, with in regards to like relationships or like um situationships or just like putting
Yeah.
myself into a place because I was like I kind of felt like I had missed out on my 20s because
Mm.
during that time. Like I got married when I was 22, and was married through that like for like 7 years. Uh, I turned 30 basically right after my divorce.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like reliving my 20s, like, like, because like sometimes you're single in your 20s, so you have all this time like to be like fun and whatever, wild and free and all this stuff.
Yep.
And I wasn't that because I was married at the time.
Hmm.
So so I think in some cases, like especially the year after my divorce, I think I made some poor choices
Yeah.
that I would say were like I regret and I don't regret at the same time because I did learn a lot from it,
Yeah.
but it is still semi embarrassing. Like, because it's like, girl, why did you do that? But
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm like, I don't think that I would be where I am or what, like, I would have learned what I needed to learn had I not put myself in those situations or like had I not done some of those things.
Yeah.
Yes. So, like, do I have some regrets? Absolutely. But
Hey,
also
how you
a
doing?
lot of lessons
Sorry.
from it.
Oh, the basement. Okay. Yep. Cynthia. Okay. All right. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So good, Kara. What you're saying, so
I'm
good.
sorry.
It's
Uh,
okay.
well, good, honey. Okay, but keep going, keep going. I'm sorry. I was just
No, I think that's it. That's all I got, really. I don't necessarily feel comfortable going into like super specifics.
super specifics. Yeah.
Uh, yeah. I mean, I think some of that has come up like recently because of situations that I like, you
Yep.
know, that I'm in like now.
Hmm. Yeah.
Some people ask me questions about certain things that have happened because I still like go to the same gym as like an old roommate. Uh,
Right.
and so like stuff comes up because we are not friends anymore.
Yeah. Hmm.
Uh, so yeah, so sometimes it's like, so do I still have, I guess to answer your other question, do I still have some embarrassment from it? Sure, because, and I'm still like getting over it because of the fact that there is sometimes still questions. But I'm like, but at the same time, it's like I'm learning, like, it was like I learned through it. And I think
Yeah.
that you have to do is with like, don't let your embarrassment like keep you down, like,
Hey,
like letting it taking the lesson from it, saying like, well, what has this taught me? Why am I embarrassed? You know? And I think it's because it was like out of character for me. So it's like, why am I like, why did I let myself, like you said, like, why did I tolerate this? Why did I let myself go there? And like realizing the why behind it helps me move forward from it and then not allow it to happen again.
That's so good.
Yeah.
One of the things I was like telling myself when I was having the hardest days, it's just like, that you grow through what you go through. I love that quote. Think
Good.
about that all the time. I don't know. It helped me a lot. I will say I am embarrassed about how much I cried after now,
uh,
which is so, it's terrible. But I like, now that I see the whole situation for what it was, I was like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, that's so embarrassing. And I could not help it. You know, like my
Yeah.
kids saw me, my
Yeah.
saw me. I
Yeah.
told you all my business and you're, I did.
Hey.
Yeah.
No, I totally get it though.
It's like,
And
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know, I think like crying, like like why am I crying over this? Like this is a
Yeah.
really good thing. But at the same time, it is like and something like my one of my aunts told me, who also went through a divorce, um, and had like similar circumstances to mine too, was
Yep.
like she was like, this is like a death, it is like a
Yeah.
death of
Yep.
the death of a relationship. It's a death of dreams that you had, like, hopes and
Yeah.
things that plans that you maybe made, even with
Yeah.
that person, like all of that is dead. And so, like, there is a grieving process, and part of grieving is crying and letting that go and sorrow and stuff. So by letting it
Yeah.
cry, like it's okay. Even like you can even still be like accepting of it and be like, this is actually a really good thing for me. But you're still like, I think it's more like for me, it was not necessarily crying over losing him because I was like, I'm glad that he's not in my life. But
Yeah.
like, it's more crying over like, we had all these plans. Like, we had like these,
Yeah.
like this, like, plan for a house, this plan for like a
Yeah.
possible business, this plan for all of this. And
Yeah.
like, that's dead, you know?
Yeah. Wow. That's deep.
I know I was down real bad. Like I'm a crier anyway. I cry like if I'm happy or what, like anything, I just cry. So I'm comfortable with that. But I had more than one person like literally ask me if I was in danger or if I was okay because I was down so bad.
Wow. Wow.
That is, yeah, I'm sorry.
But you got good friends though to ask that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of them was my daughter. So like
Yeah.
made me realize like, oh, I better get my ish together because this is worse than I
Mm.
thought. And like she'll now that we're laughing about it, like
Mm.
she'll bring up things that I cried about that are so ridiculous. And
Mhm.
I,
Yeah.
who was I? I don't know.
Hey, it's not ridiculous. You were going through, your problem. You were going through something that was yours, you
Yeah,
know, and that doesn't make it any less significant. Hmm.
And honestly, I
Yeah.
think the tears help. Like, I think it's good to like, like I think it's good also to now look back and be like laughing at it. Like, because that's also like a healing thing. But it's like at that moment, that's what you needed.
correct. That's true. If I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be like where I am now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%.
That's good.
One of my
That's
friends,
really good.
she said to me, she was the first person that I told because I don't share my business like that with people, even my closest friends, like, but she was just telling me she was worried about me, and she said, like, at least your life is going to look completely different in a year. Like, you can
Yeah.
do this, you can do anything for a year.
Hmm.
Like, I believe in you, you got this.
Wow.
And she was so right. And I did think about that every single day too. Like,
Wow.
and I mean, it does, and it's better than ever. So she was
Yeah.
right.
A dope friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's amazing.
That's dope. That's dope. I know it's 8 o'clock, so we can wrap it up here, but this was a really good call. This is why I wanted to talk about this. I told you this group conversations are refreshing. Um, this is for me, it's like a form of therapy for me. Just hearing you both, talk about and answer the questions I have is just refreshing. Uh, to see and to hear the triumphs, to hear the trials and tribulations, to hear the ups and downs. Those things are so refreshing because it just reminds me that if y'all can get through this, then I can get through something, or I can, like it's motivating to say the least. Um, but thank you, ladies, both. This was an amazing call. I think we have fitness next. We're gonna jump over
No,
there.
not fitness. It's poetry.
Oh, poetry, poetry. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, that's Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, days Sunday. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, let's do it. Let's do it. I can't so much. I'll be posting this probably tomorrow. And again, just thank you both for just being so amazing and keep motivating, keep thriving. For our viewers, our listeners, follow these two ladies, amazing ladies, Elise and Kara. Their links will be in the bio. And this is Let's Just Talk Motivation. Until next time, peace. Bye, ladies. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Have a wonderful night.
Bye.
Bye.